All right, so you might want to stick around to the end of this video because I will be breaking down this beautiful trade which you see on your screen. Okay, so this was a gold trade which was taken on 4th of November. And what I'm going to do is that I am going to break down price action all the way from higher time frame to my entry time frame on M1, just to give you a fair idea of how I got this trade up and running. Okay, so if you are not subscribed, please do well to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you don't miss out on other future important videos. So without wasting much time, we are going to clear everything off the screen and let's re-engineer price back to the start of 4th November. Then quickly we step onto the higher time frame. Okay, so normally I do say that if you're an intraday trader, your highest of highest time frame at least should be H4. So right on H4 we can see this beautiful low which created this beautiful high over here. Okay, always keep things very simple, and this is valid because we have a break of structure over here which leaves this point of interest right in here. So you're gonna have this as a POI, beautiful demand. Now what the higher time frame story is trying to say is that we need to get to at least this point of interest. Super simple. You are done. Now once you spot this, you know how I do my top-down analysis. Very simple. After I've spotted what the H4 is trying to tell me, the next thing is I move on to the intraday time frame, which is M15, and try to find my recent low that created my recent high, or my recent high that created my recent low. So right here on M15 time frame, we can see a lot of let's say this high over here, let's say this low, let's say all of these, but which one should we look at? So currently what I saw is this. I saw price going below this wonderful low over here. Very nice, super simple. Don't need to stress yourself. Okay, which leaves me with this beautiful high that created this beautiful low. Now I know that a lot of people don't consider wick break of structures. I don't have any problem with that, but this is a valid break of structure for me, so I'll just be focusing on just this high to this low. Very simple. So I can now start looking for my setups. Okay, so right in here, once I know that I have a high that has created a low, I'm just going to look for areas where I feel price could react potentially, which is my point of interest. So the first point of interest is this extreme point over here, which is going to act as a POI. And then if you're watching here, after this high was created, you realize that price moved down. This guy didn't break this low, but what happened was we stalled a bit and then we came down nicely to break this point. Okay, so this guy is also part of the whole process that led to the break of the structure. So I call this a decisional POI. Nicely. So once I have these guys in here, I have my setup ready. What is the intraday story saying? The intraday is just trying to tell you that we need to come into any of these points of interest, then we can sell off. Very simple. You don't need to stress. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to step onto M5 and show you how SMC traders will think, and how I was also using how the SMC traders were thinking to think. Okay, so right in here we can see a high that created a low, okay, on M5, and we can see that this guy got taken out. So we have a beautiful low that created this high. Why not this high? And I'm choosing this high. There is a beautiful fake out over here. I've talked about this several times. So this is now my new low that has created my new high. And guess what? SMC traders right after seeing this guy are going to say, oh, point of interest, and let's start looking for buys from here. That is what the normal SMC trader is going to think, and they are not wrong at all, because if you watch this PUI, it falls within what do you call it, mid-Asia, which is very beautiful. Okay, but with me, I have 3 types of mid-Asian variants. I have not talked about it on my channel before. I have only talked about the fact that there is something we call mid-Asia inducement, but I have not gone deeper into it because I have reserved it for just my private students. Okay, So again, one of this mid-Asian thing is that sometimes price will not really respect the mid-Asia. What it is going to do is that it is going to break. Okay, and guess what? When price breaks like this, what do you think SMC traders will be doing? They'll be looking for price to come back into this guy. Meanwhile, this guy is just a mid-Asia inducement, and so this guy is going to be an SMT. So if I play price forward a little, you're going to see something. Price tap into this guy. Now, I always have specific times which I take my trades. Okay, so if I don't get any entry within that specific time, trust me, I'm not going to enter that trade. Okay, and all my students know this. So price just, you know, came in there, and you can see we didn't even break this guy over here, which means that we don't need to mark this as an SMT, okay, unless this guy is broken. So currently, again, we have price going above this high over here. Okay, so once we have taken out this high, we can look for sales to the downside. Okay, but I'm not here to talk about this sales, even though it's a valid one. Okay, if you step onto lower time frames, you can get a valid sell over here. So once price moves down, look at what happened. I'm going to take out all of these things and show you something real quick. So right in here, look at this. This is the last low that created the high. So what do you think SMC traders are doing? They're going to tell you we have broken structure to the downside, and they're looking for price to come here. But in reality, this guy is going to be an SMT. Why? The first reason is because I see this as a mid-Asia inducement. That's the first one. Second reason why I am looking at this guy as an SMT is because, if you guys remember, we were having this 2 point of interest up here, and we were expecting price to at least come into this point of interest. Okay, now there is something that I left out over here. Somebody's going to ask me why this PUY. So like I said, the first reason is because it's contributed to the break of this structure. Another reason is because if you take your Fibonacci from the high to the low, you're going to realize that this guy falls above 50% or even 61.8, which is in confluence with what people call the golden ratio or something like that. So these two PUYs over here, once I know that price is supposed to tap in, I will not consider selling from this PUY, no. So I'm going to consider this PUY over here as an SMC trap. I'm not going to look for any trade over there. Rather, I'm looking for price to sweep the PUY. Super simple. So once I see this, I can step on to M1, and I can now start looking for my trades. Again, what time is this one? This is 7:57. Okay, very good timing anyway. But this one I'll mostly skip. Okay, most of the times I'll skip. I'll just be looking at what price will be doing, because I want to see solid reasons for me to go for the trades. Okay, so real quick, let's push down, and you realize that if I had engaged, it would have taken me out nicely. So I want to see a very solid confirmation which I can take. Okay, so right in here again, let's continue to play price forward a little. Now look at this. If you're watching here, let's say that you even watched some of my YouTube videos about the mid-Asia, and so you knew that this was a mid-Asia inducement. Look at what the SMC trader is going to think. The normal SMC trader is going to tell you that this is a confirmation, and they can look for buys from here nicely. Okay, so let's say 10 pip stop loss. They are not wrong at all. They are not wrong. It is not wrong to looking for this trade, but most of the times when you see things like this, entry confirmations like this at the beginning of, like at the earliest part of session opens, you need to be very careful. Okay, so once I see something like this, trust me, I will not bother to enter, because I know that SMC has seen this break and they are looking for confirmation like this to push up, like that counter trend. You understand? They're looking for counter trend is not wrong, but the time they are entering the counter trend trade is wrong. Okay, so this is just traditional SMC and the way they think. So look at what is going to happen real quick. Price comes in there and then they get taken out. Okay, now on a normal day, you're going to find me looking for entries here. nicely around 819, which is very, very valid as well. But timing, okay, timing is not in your favor, and so sometimes you need to skip some of these things. I really like it when my entries fall in line with time. Now, the reason why you are not seeing me, you're not hearing me mentioning any particular time is that I like to keep my timing a secret. Unless you are my student, trust me, I'll not mention anything about like specific times for you. But if you are smart, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, so right in here, yes, you could have gotten an entry, but time is not in your favor. Okay, even though we can see a beautiful SMT and all those things, but timing is not in your favor. So if I play price forward a little, you realize that price gave, you know, a little move to the top. You could have gotten like maybe 1:3 or something like that, okay, just to go home with. Okay, but this is not a favorable trade for me. So let's say we cap at 1:3, and then what does price do? Price takes everybody out nicely. Now watch this. So first of all, SMC, traditional SMC, were thinking that is a break, and they were looking for buyers from here to push up. They have been taken out nicely for the first time. Those who didn't consider this as a confirmation definitely are going to consider this as a confirmation, which means they would have been looking for buyers from here to the top. They have also been taken out by this. Now guess what? This reaction from here is not because of this POI. No. This reaction from here is simply because all SMC guys are being swept. Super simple. Now, right after this SMC being taken out, I can come in with a magic entry from here. Okay, beautifully like this, maybe 20 pip stop loss on gold. And I would have been looking for price to like make a push to the top and then maybe break this one, but I didn't take it. Why? It's because I needed extra confirmation before I can engage. You understand? Why? It's simply because if you're watching here, we had this and this SMC got taken out, those who entered here, and then we have the same thing built what in a bigger picture like this. So I wanted something which will act as extra confirmation to make sure that I'm really standing at the right side. So I want structure, timing, everything to be in confluence. Currently, structure, yes, confluenced for me. Now, lower time frame entries also confluenced because we have SMC taken out, but timing. So if you're watching here, it's around 8:55. If you are my student, you will know that this is not the right time to enter. So you have to wait for further confirmations. So playing price forward, this is what I saw. You could have gotten an entry here again. Okay, this is 8:59, valid. Okay, to take your entries. Then boom, we had this. Now I've been talking about this entry confirmation for a very long time. I call this the FTBOS, the follow through break or structure. So once I see this, I know that this is what extra confirmation. Very simple. So this is where I come in with my entry nicely. Stop loss, I just do 10. Okay, 10 pip stop loss on gold and pull up. You can decide to take your TP at this POI for like 1:9, or just like I said, we need to tap into the POI. Okay, so at least we should clear this high. Very simple. So this was the beautiful setup. Okay, and then price just came in. What happened? Tapped in and then boom to the top. What did we do? Hit TP, and then that's the end of the trade. Super simple. You don't need to stress yourself looking for any other nonsense or whatsoever. Okay, so to just summarize everything, we have an intraday bearish move to the downside with two levels where we feel price can react from these two areas. Now on lower time frames, we have price creating a low, a high, a low, a high, another low, another high. All right, Now price broke this point over here, making SMC traders think that this POI over here is a valid point of interest to look for sales. Meanwhile, you have your main POIs up there for price to get to, then you can look for your sales. Because of that, this POI is going to act as an SMT. So because SMC traders have seen this break, they'll definitely be looking for confirmations, and so price gave them a beautiful confirmation which they could capitalize on and then took them out nicely. Once SMC gets taken out, you're going to find out that we even give extra confirmation for them to look for more buys from this area. But again, price took them out nicely because timing is not in their favor as well. Now once SMC has been taken out, like I said, we can get our first entry from here, but because of whatever happened here, and so this area and this area, I wanted extra confirmation so that I don't fall prey to this SMC traps that price is building. Okay, so I waited for extra confirmation, which I call the follow through breakout structure, and this guy was presented nicely at the specific time that I was looking for. Price came in there and then gave me that beautiful entry move to the top. Plain 1:11, super simple. You don't need to stress. If you've found value in this video, do well to give this video a thumbs up, leave a like and a comment in the comment section. Cheers.